What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Video Nasties. I know it's been a while since our last episode. I do apologize for that. That's mostly my fault. But we're back. I think it's been like 3 weeks or something. And as always, with me is Wayne from Retro Horror. Thank you for joining me once again. And today we are doing Cannibal, Ferox, whatever you want to call it, from 1981, right?
81, yep, 81.
From Umberto Lenzi. Yeah, we both have the same release. I don't think there's another Blu-ray release. There's probably some DVD releases, but
yeah, I think
pretty nice release.
I think this is the definitive release. Even if there was another release, Grindhouse is the best.
Get your CD soundtrack and all that with it too, and tons of features on here. You get an hour and a half documentary on Cannibal films. You get trailers from Grindhouse releasing. What is that? That was probably another hour worth of trailers or something.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, great release from Grindhouse. So as usual, I'll let Retro go over the brief synopsis. Not a whole lot to this one, as the case with most Cannibal films, but we'll go over it anyways.
All right. 1981's Make Them Die Slowly. So you've got an unlikely group of characters that end up going to the Amazon. More specifically, they go to the border of Colombia and Peru. One group is basically an anthropological type group. Two women that are doing research on cannibalism and natives, and then the other group is crooks trying to escape from New York and look for jewel. I wasn't quite 100% sure what they were doing, but I thought they were involved in some kind of a jewelry type deal.
Yeah, they mentioned something about the jewels in like the little flashback scene with the Mike character. But
yeah, so these two foursome, if you will, kind of get together and end up getting involved with these natives that really they initiate kind of torturing and harassing these natives, and then the natives ultimately seek their revenge on the group. So to me, this is essentially a revenge story, with a lot of cannibalism thrown in. But the core of the movie, in my opinion, it's a revenge piece.
So you think the anthropologists were kind of guilty by association because of the character of Mike, and I forget the other guy's name that was with him.
Well, you got Mike, but then you got the greatest Italian cult figure in cinema, at least from a name standpoint. I just love saying his name, Giovanni Lamberto Radice. You got to do your hand when you say Radice. And he's got, I guess he's, so he's labeled as John Morgan. He goes by an alias in this, but so those two, basically, Giovanni is the one that really initiates. He's kind of a sadist, and he goes and initiates a bunch of tortures on the natives, and of course, they ultimately get their revenge on him through a series of equally brutal type things. It's when you compare. So this one came on the heels of Cannibal Holocaust, which was kind of the first definitive video, the documentary style film. Umberto Lenzi was piggybacking the success of the cannibal genre with this film. And I think at the end of the day, I like this one better than Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
I think the music in Cannibal Holocaust is better. Not much better. I think the music in this is great, but overall, I think that I think the overall story, and I think the acting and certainly the amount of kills and things in this is much better than Cannibal Holocaust. Right. But I love Cannibal Holocaust too. I mean, these two are the definitive cannibal films, in my opinion.
And again, as always, before we go any further, there will be, spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen this movie, might want to check it out, then come back to us. But Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen Holocaust, and I've only seen bits and pieces of this before watching it for this video.
Yeah.
And it was like extremely edited and things like that, so didn't even get to enjoy what I did see. But I do agree that this, from my memory of Holocaust, this is the better film in general. I mean, like you said, I mean, Holocaust started the, really set the standard for these kind of films, but this is definitely better. I think it's better acted, better, just a better story to it and everything.
Yeah, I think Cannibal Holocaust, really the music is just a masterpiece, and I think the music kind of, you're probably talking about a 6 out of 10 movie without the music, and then it's like an 8, 9 out of 10 because of the music. I think this is an 8 out of 10 without the music. I mean, that's just the difference. One thing that's interesting to note: the guy that was the mobster at the start of the film, Janis Barto, he was actually, this was his last film, uh, and he was in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He was in like 80 different films, including Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Just interesting from Hungary originally.
Interesting.
And of course, you got Robert Kerman in this, who is more known. He was in all these. I mean, he was in a bunch of these cannibal films, but in this one, he's a cop, and of course, he's better known as being a porn star of the '70s.
I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of 70s porn besides whatever Vinegar Syndrome sends me.
Yeah, I've seen all those films. They're great. But
no, even those, huh? Okay.
Lenzi, I noticed Lenzi said, if I'd have known Kerman was in porn, I'd have never cast him. But then he comes along and says that he did a good job. So I found Lenzi always kind of a contradiction. He'll say things and he contradicts himself a bunch. I tell you one thing: if you have not listened to the commentary on this commentary,
which I haven't yet. No.
Well, it's gold. Break out 90 minutes of your time to check out the commentary on this, because you got Lenzi, but then you've got Giovanni Umberto Radici also, and they're kind of going back and forth. I don't think they're in the same recording, because Radici is just like, this is a shit movie, and where we went in Peru was like the shitter of the world, and then you got Lenzi. Just the contrast of the two, and talking about this film was just, it's gold, man. Cinema gold. You got to listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty constricted on time here recently, so I was doing good just to watch the movie finally. But I definitely want to go back and revisit the commentary, and I want to check out the interviews.
Yeah,
as well.
And this, as you pointed out earlier, before we got on, this has the documentary on the first disc with the movie. Is a 90-minute documentary, which is really a fantastic overview of the cannibal subgenre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it gets you to making a list of other movies to get as well. But I mean, they're all pretty much the similar, synopsis. You have Westerners going to some remote place, and things happen from there. But they all seem to kind of have their little things that stand out. Like, how do you feel about the couple castrations of this film? The first one wasn't too extreme, but the second one was pretty bad. But
yeah, of course, there's a castration in Cannibal Holocaust as well, which I think was more effective than this one, because you could tell, this, particularly with the second one, it's obviously a prosthetic, a pretty bad prosthetic, when they slice into it. But yeah, I think it got the effect. It did the job, but it wasn't quite as shocking, I would say, as Cannibal Holocaust, the one in Cannibal Holocaust.
It doesn't seem like it really affected the character very much either in the movie. It's like, man, if that would have happened to me, I'd be done. That's it.
He was running around like nothing happened.
Shakes it off. Yeah. You that, and you lose your hand, you lose your junk, you lose all this, and you're still just going. No,
you can't keep Lombardo Radici down, man. He's
Yeah, I mean, I felt kind of bad for the natives of this, especially at the beginning. You know, I mean, like you said, it's the fault of the Mike character that all this even happened. You know, if
Yeah.
he would have left them alone, nothing would have happened to the people that were good. You know.
Well, all these films sort of have that premise where the white man, they're going into native jungle area in search of quote cannibals and a backwards almost prehistoric civilization. But what you end up getting really is the people that come from the supposed cultural society are the ones that are really the bad guys in this whole thing. They're the evil ones, and the natives are just, they're the ones that are being themselves really, and then what they do from a standpoint of torturing these people and eating them is really just a byproduct of them being tortured. And the white people are initiating the mutilations and terror. That's the case in Cannibal Holocaust, and it's certainly the case here too.
See, I could have never been a part of the filming of these movies because the locations with the they were talking in one part about how the room was just I don't know if I don't remember if it was this movie or a different movie, but I think it was this one. But the room was like filling up with snakes as they were shooting and
Yeah.
everything, and they had to stop shooting because there was like 20, 30 snakes just all in that room, and going through these jungles with all the insects and animals around, there's just no way that's not something I could have ever done. So these people
Well,
definitely had some balls back then. I
Giovanni Umberto Radice was saying that he made a good point in this discussion that it's like, why the hell did we go to the backwaters of the Amazon in Peru, Colombia to shoot this when it would have been, we could have gone out and out. One of the scenes, he said, this would have been easily just shot on in location in Rome, out in the outskirts of Rome. But he said basically they did it because it was actually cheaper. You get all the cheap labor from the local area, and all they would want is just to be fed for the day. So that was an interesting point he made about why would they shoot on location in the Amazon, which is just brutal. I can't imagine. But apparently, it's just
I know Lenzi loves the way that it looks. He loves the jungle. He loves the realism of it. From what he was
yeah.
saying in the features. But
Well, and he's
I'm
right.
sure it comes down to budget.
The universal everything seems to have the universal underlying theme. It's about money. It's economics. I mean, we hate to say that, but that it is what
Like
it is.
all the movies they shot back in like the 70s and stuff in like the Philippines and all that, all those exploitation films that they would make,
Yeah,
they did it because it was cheap and there wasn't any like labor laws over there. There was nothing. You could do
that's
whatever
right.
you wanted. You didn't have to feed people. You didn't have to give them breaks. You didn't have to do none of that shit. You just, all right, we're in the Philippines. This is what's going to happen. You guys aren't
Yeah,
getting paid nothing.
it's just all about the money, man. It's just it's a
All
cost.
about the Benjamins. Yep.
So
uh, um, yeah, well, I forgot what I was getting ready to say, but damn it.
well,
Uh,
I can go into. I took the liberty of doing this film. There's certain films, slasher films, 80s horror that really are kind of.
you gonna do the Joe Bob breakdown?
Man, how'd you know that?
You haven't done one in a while either, so
This is this is the perfect Joe Bob drive-in totals. I mean, you got 25. It's going to take me 10 minutes to go through
oh
this.
yeah. One thing I was gonna ask real quick: did they ever say like the locals in the movie itself are those actual local? They never talk about the people that played them,
Yeah,
that played the
they
natives.
in the commentary track they did talk about that those were natives of Peru, right? We're talking about on the border of Peru and Colombia here, and they were natives that, and you can, I think that you can tell when you look at when they are like trying to eat the entrails. Um, their face, and they're not giving the reactions that an actor would give.
Yeah,
They're
I
not.
know they talked about it on the scene with the top of the head.
Right, right. So they've just kind of this deadpan.
Nasties.
I'm I'm chewing intestines. I've got this deadpan look. I mean, that's they were just natives, not actors. So
Yeah, they probably paid them nothing. I mean, they
honestly, I think it worked better that way. Because if you were in that situation with natives that were cannibals, wouldn't they be deadpan? Because that's just normal for them. I mean,
right.
eating other people would just be, why would they overreact and act? And they're just eating like it's normal. I mean, it's so I think it works. I think it works.
All right, go ahead with your breakdown there.
All right, we got the Joe Bob Briggs, in honor of Joe Bob Briggs, the drive-in totals, and it's a lot. This film is, I mean, it made the video nasties for a reason, and when I started totaling this up, it's like, my God, you don't realize it when it's happening. It just kind of washes over you. But then when you just start making a list of totaling this stuff, there's a lot of shit going on here. We've got gratuitous grub worm eating. Remember the grub worms? Those like this big white. We got anaconda muskrat strangulations. We got jaguar monkey eating. We've got human corpse skinning. We got pig stabbing, lizard snake eating. We've got turtle disemboweling. Why is it every of these all these movies you got to disembowel a turtle? I'm not sure why the turtle always gets the short end of the stick in these films, but
Because he's slow.
yeah, turtle disemboweling. You've got a gunshot to the gut. You've got an Amazonian boxing match, which actually there was some pretty good punches thrown in that one. You got multiple Johnsons being decapitated. You've got a corpse disemboweling, intestine pulling, eating, more Johnson chewing. Now that couldn't have been pleasant. That's got to be kind of like eating a pig's foot or something. And then
I wouldn't know.
you got piranha leg chewing. So that's my little Joe Bob Briggs. And I guess you would have to give.
You didn't do
Certainly.
the breast impaling, did you? Was that on there?
Oh shit! I forgot the breast impaling. How could I forget that?
You can't forget that. It's on the cover.
Yeah, you got titty impaling. I did have that. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
Driving Academy Award nomination for Giovanni Umberto Radice.
Yeah, the one scene in here that upset me the most out of everything was when Mike leaves the girls for dead. I'm just like, what a fucking asshole!
Oh,
Like,
he's just a piece of crap. He
out of
really.
everything that happens in this movie, that was the one scene where it's like there's no humanity left to this guy at all. None.
Nah, not to the natives, and not even to people from his own culture. He's just a piece of crap. It was
Because
it
some
was
of the natives felt kind of bad for the girls, and we're trying to help them here and there.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I think ultimately at the core of this film, it's just a revenge. If you had a rape, it'd be rape revenge, but it's just a bottom line revenge story. And we definitely, I enjoyed seeing Radice get his comeuppance. I mean, he deserved it.
That's why I was saying earlier, the people that were the good people were kind of just guilty by association because they thought, okay, if these guys are bad, they're going to be bad, so we're going to kill them too. Then, you know,
Yeah,
it's just wrong place, wrong time situation for them.
that's
But
right.
yeah, not a whole lot else to really say about this one. I definitely recommend it. I'm not the biggest cannibal film person. Like I said, I think they're all just kind of the same. But I
They
think
do.
this one and Slave of the Cannibal God are two of my favorites so far.
Yeah, I think I started collecting cannibal films, and I think I got most of them. I have at least 20. I think there's maybe 20 to 30 total. And I don't know. They do kind of run together, I will admit, when you watch them. If you
Oh
watch
yeah,
them,
like we can't review Holocaust next or
Mhm.
something like that because you're gonna get them mixed up and what scene was what. And,
I do think Man from Deep River has a bit more meat on the bones from a story perspective. That compared to some of these others, if we wanted to do that one. But Cannibal Terror is another good one. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I give it a 9 out of 10. Classic stuff. And this Grindhouse release, man, if you don't
Again,
have
I don't
it,
rate mine, but I say buy this, guys. If you guys are fans of these types of movies, even if you're not, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but this is a great release, and I actually did enjoy the movie overall. I mean, these kind of fall in the same line as slasher movies. All have kind of the same premise and same, but there's always going to be something that sets them apart from the other ones, and I
right.
think this sets apart from other cannibal films.
I do too. I do too. All right. Well, I guess we got to pick the
The
next.
effects weren't too bad overall for the kind of budget they had. I mean, it wasn't too unrealistic.
I actually think, when you really start analyzing this thing, the penis, the Johnson's getting cut off. I think you had a better version of that, a much more terrifying version of that in Cannibal Holocaust compared to this one. I thought this one was cheesy, but the corpse, the scene where they take the corpse and peel it open, that made up for it. That was just an awesome. I thought that was fantastic as far as the special effects and the overall impact. It was awesome.
So one last thing before we go, it had the two scenes that were lost for 30 years or whatever. I don't think the piranha scene was very over the top or anything. It was pretty weak
Yeah,
in comparison. I mean,
but
so was the pig scene, but
the pig stabbing was pretty upsetting. I mean, yeah, but I have a different perspective on that than kind of the social justice type stuff. I mean, uh, at the end of the day, that's we eat. Unless you're a vegetarian, then these comments don't even apply. But if you eat meat, you go to the store and it's all beautifully packaged. But at some point in time, you know,
right.
chickens and pigs are being slaughtered to get it to the grocery store and look at that pretty package. So, and quite honestly, that's just how they live in the jungle.
I can see that one being cut out because of the animal cruelty aspect or something, but the piranha scene just made no sense why they would have ever
Well,
got
it
rid of
didn't.
that.
Yeah, I didn't. That
It's
one
kind of
had.
cheesy.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't really get the piranha scene. I mean, the one that I think was just kind of there just to be just for shock effect, if you will, would be the obviously the pig scene, and then the alligator getting disemboweled. That was, or the not a crack that little crocodile that they
Yeah, the
disemboweled.
baby crap. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
all the animal stuff is real. They can't fake the animal stuff. So,
right. Yeah.
but I mean, like you said, you got to eat. I mean, this stuff's being done whether you see it being done or not. It's being done. I mean,
I'm sure the natives, that's what they do. Sure, they eat it. I
they
mean,
probably eat it raw too. I mean,
well, Lenzi was saying that even the turtle, everything that got cut up, the natives ate it. The locals there.
it's funny to me how they'll be eating, somebody or an animal just as soon as they kill it, and they have like a fire next to them. Like, just put it on the fire for a minute and cook
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I guess they think it's better for you, or you absorb part of the animal's being or the person's being. If it's uncooked, it's some kind of spiritual thing.
Well, it was
So
funny to watch the natives kind of chawing down on like live entrails and stuff because a couple of them would like take a small bite and then you could see them like if you watch real close, they'd kind of spit it out. They were chewing. They just do a quick chew and then spit it out.
yeah, I'm sure even if it was real, it wouldn't be any good. I can't imagine acquiring a taste for that. That's just
Nah, nasty.
all right. Well,
All right.
shit. What do we have on tap for next time?
I think we got to do a section two.
Where are we at?
I think
Section two.
yeah. Section two.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Man from Deep River is on here.
Yeah, on section 2.
Which is also known as Sacrifice.
Yeah, I would hold off. I'd probably hold off on that one.
Let's
Um, what about?
you pick from these two, the Beyond or Unhinged.
Um, well, I would. Let's go with Unhinged.
Or what were you gonna suggest? Go ahead.
Um,
Gotta see
I
my
was,
hat.
I was actually going to suggest the Boogeyman, the Uli Lamel film.
That's the one that 88 Films put out, right?
Uh huh.
Part of the slasher classics.
Yes. And
Okay, yeah, sure,
you want to do Boogeyman?
sure. Why not?
All right, we'll do Boogeyman.
I was just trying to get like as far away from Cannibal anything that I could, so that's why I was going with those.
Well, this is more of a supernatural horror.
Okay, cool.
All right, we'll do Boogeyman.
So if you guys want to watch that beforehand, I don't know when the next one will be. It'll probably be sooner rather than later, so I'm not in the middle of like moving and doing all that shit. But we'll be here, guys. Regardless, if there might be some gaps in between, it may not be every week, but we'll be here.
That's right.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Yep. Peace, love, happiness, all y'all. We'll catch you next time.